Good afternoon, everyone. So we're back again with another video, right? An informative video. So we're just gonna be discussing advanced market structure again, and most importantly, in this video, we're gonna be covering also a breakout structure, right? Or let me say valid and invalid breakout structures. And number two, we're gonna be covering swing highs and swing lows, and swing highs, right? Then supply and demand. All of this is covered in an advanced market structure, right? Once someone explains to you what is an advanced market structure, or they go into details on explaining how the market behaves, they're probably going to also touch on supply and demand zones, right, by default. So going deep into market structure, we're going to be covering these all three just by default, right? Because we're going to be touching on what is a breakout structure, what is an invalid breakout structure, right? Because what happens is, if you thought the market was, for an example, breaking a structure, going to the downside, right, and you are waiting for a retracement so that you can place your sales, but instead the market goes other way. That's why it is very important to know what is a valid breakout structure and what is an invalid breakout structure, right? So without wasting any time, let's quickly focus on downtrend. So these illustrations will basically be explaining a downtrend, right? So now on our illustrations, we going down, right? So this is a bearish trend and we're basically looking for sales, right? So we created a low, we went up, we created a lower low, and then we went up, and then taking out previous high, right, which was not a swing high, but we're gonna go deeper into it, right? So again, we created a low, right, and then we went up, and then we created a lower low, right? But look at what happened on this lower low. This is not just lower low. What is it then? It is a swing low. Why is it a swing low? Because it immediately took out the last high, right? The market has these smaller structures. In the bigger structure, there's gonna be some small structures, right? So the market took out this high. That's what makes it a swing low. So is this a swing low? Nope. Why? Because this swing low, when it was going up, it didn't take out any bumps in the road, right? It didn't take out any high. So now let's say there was a small high right here. So there was a small high, and then the market was going that way, right? So the market was going down, and then this low actually went up to take out this small high. Then this low was gonna be a swing low, right? But in this case, it is just a low. It's not an important low, right? Okay, let's go back to our market. So we are saying we are on a downtrend, right? Agree. And then the market went up to take out this high, right? Making this low a very important low. Making this low a very important low, calling it a swing low. So after the market created this swing low going to the upside direction, the market went down again, created a small lower low, and then retraced, and then went downward, right? So now immediately after taking out our swing low, we're gonna have what we call a breakout structure, right? So now we took out our swing low here. I'm gonna make it red. After taking out our swing low, automatically we have a breakout structure. Hopefully this makes a lot of sense, because if you miss it, market's probably gonna be a bit difficult, right? Now the question is, why is this not a breakout structure, right? Because someone would say, I created the low here, the market retraced, and then the market went to the downward direction. And then why is this not a breakout structure? It is not a breakout structure, right? Because this low that we took out, I'm gonna make it a V shape. So this low that we took out here was not a swing low, right? Remember, this low was not a swing low. This low, right? I can actually write it here, not a swing low. Therefore, if it's not a swing low, we don't have a breakout structure, right? So now let's continue with our trade. We went up and then we pushed to the downside, right? Creating a breakout structure, right? And then we created another important low. Why am I calling this an important low? Because same to this low, or same as this low, it went up, right? Taking out the previous high, right? So again, this low is a swing low. Why? Because it went up to take out this previous high. Hopefully that makes sense. So this low was not a swing low because it didn't take out anything here, right? But now this low is a swing low because it took out this previous high. So why is that important? Because we're gonna get a breakout structure, right? You're only getting a breakout structure on the swing low and swing highs. So again, the market went down, right, making bumps in the road, and then finally taking out our swing low, this low, right? So now once we take out this swing low, we have something called a breakout structure, right? So I want to demonstrate what is a breakout structure and what is not a breakout structure. Remember, this is a swing low, so each and every time you are taking out a swing low, you are getting a breakout structure, right? So why is it important? It is important because now you're gonna be looking for sales on your retracement, right? We take out the swing low, the market went down, right? So in an uptrend, in a retracement trend, I don't want to call this an uptrend, I want to call this a retracement trend. This is a beautiful area to look for sales. Again and again, let's continue with our downtrend, right? So the market went down, created a small bump in the road, a retracement, and then went down again, right? But now, as soon as we took out this low here, it's not a breakout structure. You would ask yourself, what is the difference between low number 4 and low number 2? Because I thought each and every time we were taking out a low, we're getting a breakout structure. But now you are telling me that after taking out low number 4, still it's not a breakout structure. What is the difference? So let me explain it again. This is a swing low. So each and every time you take out a swing low, you get a breakout structure, right? This is not a swing low. So you simply took out a bump in the road. That bump in the road was not a swing low, right? So if it is not a swing low, this is not going to be a valid supply zone, because a valid supply zone must be able to take out a swing low, right? Or must be able to break out a structure. Yes, in simple terms, a valid swing low must be able to take out a structure at least, right? So again, went down, we retraced up, we went down again, but then even though we broke out low number 4, it was not a breakout structure, right? Because low number 4 was just a bump in the road, right? Low number 4 was just a bump in the road. Low number 4 was not a swing low, right? So this is not a breakout structure. Therefore, this is not a supply zone. Don't look for a retracement and a sell, right? Here, this was a valid supply zone. Therefore, it was good to be looking for a retracement and then market going to the downside. Hopefully this makes a bit of sense. So I just covered what is a swing low, what is a breakout structure, and what is a supply zone in this small video.